Welcome to Wellbeing Café. Thank you so much for joining for day 11 of our month-long Integrate journey. In today's class, we'll be focusing on the side body, shoulders, back, and hips. Today's class is a Yin style class, so we will come into several different poses for an extended period of time where you will allow your body to relax completely so that we can stress the joints, fascia, and interconnected tissues. Over time, this can increase your overall mobility and flexibility, and it's a rather intense practice, so I ask that you consistently check in with your body throughout the class and just make sure that you feel okay, that the poses are intense but never painful. And if they do become painful, please come out of the pose and come into something else that serves you better in this moment. For today's class, you may want to have 2 blocks, a pillow or bolster, and a blanket, but as always, our props are optional. We'll start in child's pose today. The knees can go out wide. You may want to have a blanket underneath the knees to support you here. An additional option to have a bolster or pillow underneath your chest, either in line with your knees, so you can relax the head over, or underneath your entire torso. If there is a lot of space between the glutes and the heels, you can also place something between the 2 of them for additional support. Settle into child's pose. Allow the chest and forehead to become heavy. Melt towards the ground. Scan through the body from the fingertips all the way down to the shoulders, the top of the head, down the spine, the hips, all the way down to the ankles, and the ankles all the way into the toes. Take a deep grounding breath, inhale, and exhale, melt a little closer to the mat, this time scanning all the way from the top of the head to the soles of the feet, allowing awareness to spread like water from the top of the head to the toes. Begin ocean breath as you're ready. And if you do not know how to do this breath, you can follow along with me. Inhale deeply, fill up. Open mouth, exhale, feel your breath against the mat. Deep inhale, feel your back expand. Open mouth, exhale. Focus on making the ha sound at the back of your throat, as if you're fogging up a mirror. Inhale. Open mouth, exhale with the ha sound. In the next round, we'll seal off the lips while making the same sound. Inhale. Seal off the lips. Audible, ocean-like exhale. You shouldn't feel any of your breath hit the mat this time. One more time, just like that. Inhale. Seal off the lips. Audible, ocean-like exhale. Continue with this breath throughout the class and for as long as it serves you. Allow ocean breath to calm your nervous system, to relax you deeper into the poses, especially as we come into intense postures. The breath can be a powerful tool in those moments. Deep inhale. And exhale. Slowly shift the weight into the palms. Lift up onto the hands and knees. Walk the hands underneath the shoulders, the knees underneath the hips. And find any gentle movements here. Movements that will help you to release deeper while we are in our long holds. An option to close down the eyes here and simply allow your body to take you where it needs to go. These can be very structured movements, like cat-cows, or they can be more organic, without any specific lines to follow, and just anything that feels good in this moment. Three more breaths of exploration wherever you are. And we'll slowly meet back in tabletop position. Bring the knees out wide, big toes come to touch, and lower the chest down for child's pose. Set up your props in any way that you'd like, maybe bringing your blanket underneath the knees, or a bolster underneath the chest, or additional cushioning between the glutes and the heels. From this pose, lower your forehead towards the ground. And if it feels right in your body and you'd like to deepen into the shoulders, an option to bring prayer hands towards the base of the neck and walk the elbows forward. In this position, see if you can release tension in the shoulders and the hips. Release tension from the fingers and toes. Allow your chest to melt towards the mat. Lean into the intensity of the posture. Notice where you feel this pose in your body. You may feel sensation in the inner thighs, the lower back, and the shoulders. Notice if you feel these sensations or if other ones arise. What are the quality of these sensations? Send your breath to the resistant parts of your body, to any muscles that are holding on. Deep inhale. Exhale if you are in the prayer hand variation. Slowly lower both hands to the earth. Stretch them out far in front of you. And we'll all meet together with arms out front. Inhale deeply. And exhale, slowly walk your hands over to the top right corner of your mat. An option here to stack the left hand on top of the right. The forehead can rest towards the ground as you deepen. An option as well to leave your left hand on the ground and to bring the right hand closer to your chest as you turn open towards the right side. The palm may flip upward if that feels good in your body. This posture has the side bend as a target, but also the twisting of the spine. So check in with your body. Notice which pose would serve you best today. Maybe you try out both of the postures and decide from there. If you are in the posture that has an added twist, you can bring a block in between the bicep and the head as well, if that feels good in your body. See if you can relax tension in the right arm, then the left. Breathe into the sensation. If you are in the twisted variation of this side bend, then slowly lower your shoulders towards the ground. Bring your right hand towards the top right corner of the mat, and we'll meet with chest towards the ground in child's pose side body stretch. All together, deep inhale and exhale. Gently lift the chest up and crawl your hands over to the top left corner of the mat. An option to stack your right hand on top of your left as you lower the chest towards the ground. Bring any props that you need, maybe a bolster or pillow underneath the chest. Readjust your knees as you need. And if you need to lift up onto the knees and hands for just a moment and bend through the feet, maybe straighten out the legs once or twice, then feel free to do so. Take a deep breath wherever you are. And exhale completely. As you're ready, we'll all meet in the left side body stretch of child's pose. If you'd like to add in the additional twist, then slowly draw your left hand towards your body. The right palm can flip towards the ceiling. An option to bring a block in between your bicep and your head here. As you bring the left hand either to the ground or to the top of your thigh. In this version of the pose, allow your chest to turn open. Seek for intensity, but never pain. Deep inhale. Allow the body to expand with air. And exhale completely. If you are in the twisted variation of this side body stretch, slowly return your left hand to the top of the mat. Square your shoulders down towards the ground. We'll all meet in the side body stretch. And all together, deep inhale. And exhale, slowly walk the hands back towards center in front of the body. One more deep breath here in child's pose. Inhale. And exhale, lift the hips up. And walk the hands underneath the shoulders, the knees underneath the hips. And from here, take any intuitive movements that feel good in your body. This may be circling the hips around in one direction and then the other, straightening out through one leg and then the other as well. Take any movements that feel good in your body. And any movements that feel good are the correct counter poses for you and your body at this time. Knowing that the body is mobile, it always changes. Nothing remains the same from day to day. See if you can lean into the organic movement. Allow your breath to settle you in this moment. 2 more breaths wherever you are. And we'll meet in tabletop position. For our next posture, if you do have a blanket, blocks, or a pillow, you may want to have them closer to the front of your mat, just in case you need them. Inhale, lower the belly, raise the gaze, cow pose. Exhale, round back into child's pose. The knees remain close together this time. Walk the hands out in front of you. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, gaze between the thumbs. Exhale, slide forward onto the belly. Lower the hips towards the ground, straighten out the legs. Bring the forehead to the tops of the hands and shift the hips side to side. Find a static position and then lift up onto the elbows for Sphinx pose. To lessen the back bend, the elbows can be out slightly wider, or if you'd like to increase the intensity, you can bring the elbows underneath the shoulders as the chest melts forward. It may feel nice to have a blanket or additional padding underneath the hips, and if you have a pillow or bolster, you can place the bolster underneath your hips if your knees begin to bother you in this position. It allows for a lesser back bend as well, so you can add or remove as many props as you'd like to reach the desired sensation. Check in with your body. Take your time setting up. Feel free to fidget and adjust. Experiment with the props that you have. If you notice tension in the hands, an option to release that tension by bringing the hands together or bringing them to opposite elbow. And just relaxing the hands, the wrists, the elbows, and the shoulders. The world around us seems to move so fast that it can be pretty difficult to disengage from what's going on around us and all the things that are happening, constant stimulation from our environments. But see here in this moment, if you can find a sort of bubble away from that outside world, a place where you can relax, to let go and just be with yourself. Maybe one by one, you can disengage each of the muscles, allow them to release into these poses. Allow the intensity of the posture to bring you here to this present moment. Allow you to arrive in your own body. An option to stay here in Sphinx pose, or if you'd like to increase the intensity in the back, an option to come into seal pose for the last minute. If you'd like to come into seal pose, bring the forearms out in front of you in line with the elbows, press into the palms, and lift the chest up to any extent. The chin gently tucks down to elongate the spine. Breathe into the sensation, and wherever you are, notice what sensations you find in your body. Deep inhale. And exhale if you are in seal pose. Gently lower the elbows to the ground. We'll meet here in Sphinx. Inhale. And exhale, press the weight into the wrists as you flare the elbows out and lower the chest towards the ground. The forehead comes to the tops of the hands as you shift the hips side to side. From here, you can also windshield wiper the legs if that feels good in your body. For the next pose, we have two different variations. The first is to stay on your belly, and the second one is to bring the legs into a child's pose variation with knees out wide and big toes touching. The child's pose variation will be a little bit gentler on the lower back, so just check in with how your back feels in this moment and know that you can always change during our long hold as well. So wherever you are, either on the belly or in the child's pose variation with knees out wide, ground the left hand down. As you thread the right arm underneath the left, the forehead comes closer to the ground. An option to keep the left arm out in front of you as you lower down, or to thread the left arm across and lower your forehead to the ground or to a block. An option here to bring your bolster underneath your chest in either of these variations to give yourself some additional space between your arm and the ground, between your chest and your arm. Allow your right fingertips to relax and send that relaxation all the way from the right fingertips to the right shoulder and across the back, all the way into the other arm, all the way to the left fingertips. Release tension here. If your right arm ever begins to get numb in this position, gently lift out of the pose and wiggle the fingers to re-invite blood flow. Inhale deeply. Feel expansion between the shoulder blades. And exhale completely. If you have both arms threaded across your chest, then gently release the left arm. Walk it out in front of you. Deep inhale. And exhale all together. Gently lift the chest up. Release the right arm and lower the chest towards the ground. If you're on your belly, shift the hips side to side. And if you're in child's pose, feel free to pop up into tabletop position and take any movements from there that might feel good in the body. May feel good to circle out the shoulders in one direction and the other. To roll the neck in a big circle. 2 more breaths wherever you are. Where can they take you? And we'll go to the left side now. Come into your variation, either with wide knees, in the child's pose version, or all the way down on the belly. Wherever you are, gently lift the chest up and thread the left arm underneath the right this time. As on the first side, an option to keep one arm extended out in front of you as you lower your forehead towards the ground. Or you can thread the arm across and have both arms teed out as you lower the chest and forehead towards the ground. Notice if you feel a difference in the sensation on this side versus the first. There's a chance that one shoulder may be more open or more tight than the other. So notice for you how this feels in your body. And accommodate with any pillows, bolsters, or blocks. Allow yourself to release into the posture. Lean into the intensity and find your breath here. Deep inhale, expand through the shoulder blades. And exhale completely. If you have both arms crossed, bring gentle engagement into the back as you lift and free the right arm out in front of you. Deep breath here, inhale. Exhale all together. Bring gentle engagement into the core as you lift the chest up, release the left arm. Take any movements that feel good in your body. Maybe you take the same movements as the first side. Or maybe they're different here. The same movements aren't always needed for both sides. And even doesn't always mean the same. Going from left to right. Two more breaths here. And we'll all meet on our bellies. If you have a bolster with you, you may want to bring your bolster to the right side to start, next to your knees and lower half of the body. You can also do the same with a block as well, if you have one of those. If you do have an extra block, you may want to have it at the front of the mat. Our next poses will not be yin style, though if you would like to make them yin style, you can always pause and hold for an extended period of time. Tee the right arm out, bend through the left knee, And slowly shift onto the right side of the body. The left leg can land on a bolster, if that feels good. You can open up the hip here, or send the leg out long. An option to bring the block underneath your head for additional support in the neck. We won't be here for too long, and there's no need to find an edge in this pose. Simply allow it to feel good. This can be a nice counter stretch for closed wing pose. In closed wing, the target is to open up more of the back area between the shoulder blades, whereas this pose tends to target the chest and shoulder area on the front side instead. So notice in your body where you feel this sensation. And again, if the fingers become tingly or numb, gently lower the chest down and tap out the fingers to return blood flow. Deep inhale. And exhale, slowly lower down onto your chest. Tap out the right fingertips. Shift the hips from side to side. If you used a bolster or a prop on the right side for your leg, go ahead and switch it to the left side. Send the left arm out long. Bend through the right knee. Slowly shift onto your left side. The head can come down onto a block if that feels good. And then take any variation with the right leg that feels good on this side. Inhale deeply. And exhale, slowly return to your belly, taking your time. Tap out the fingertips as you arrive and shift the hips from side to side. The forehead can rest on the ground. And in any way that feels good, make your way onto your back. Hug the knees into the chest, rock side to side. Bring the soles of the feet to the ground, the knees fall inward. In our next posture, you may want to have a bolster on the left side of your body. We also will not be here in this pose for too long. We're just going to neutralize out the spine, but also feel free to make it into a yin pose if you would like by pausing the video. Bring the hands to the ground, lift the hips up slightly and set them over to the right, just a few centimeters. Hug the right knee into the chest, send the left leg out long, and pull the right knee up and over towards the left side. The right knee can land on top of your bolster or blanket here. An option to tee out the arms. You can additionally straighten the right leg if that feels good. It may feel nice after being in child's pose for so long if you did the child's pose variation of closed wing. Deep inhale. And exhale, slowly return to center. Hug the right knee into the chest. Then set the right sole of the foot to the wide edge of the mat. Bend through the left knee. Bring the left foot to the left edge of the mat. Bring the hips back to center. Allow the knees to fall inward. If you liked using the bolster on the first side, then go ahead and switch it over to the right side this time. Bring the palms down to the ground. Gently lift the hips up and set them a few centimeters over to the left. Hug the left knee into the chest. The right leg goes out long. Allow the left knee to come up and over to the right side. Shift the shoulders so that both can touch the ground. Find length in the spine here. You can tee out the arms and send the left leg out long if that feels good. The gaze can go upwards or go towards your left hand. Check in with your neck to see how that feels in your body. Inhale deeply. And exhale, slowly unwind. Hug the left knee into the chest. Set the left foot on the ground. Shift the hips back towards center. And then hug both knees into the chest. Rock side to side. Massage out the back. Before we come into our final resting pose, I'd just like to say thank you so much for joining today for day 11 of our month-long Integrate journey. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please leave a like and let me know how this went for you in the comments. And if you'd like to keep up with all of our latest videos, please subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have you as a part of our Wellbeing Café community. And with that, we will go on with our class. Give yourself one last hug. Maybe you lift the nose up towards the knees. Inhale, expand. And exhale, allow your legs to go out long, the arms to come down to the side. The palms can face up towards the ceiling. Allow the feet to fall away from one another. Settle into your mat. Gently close down the eyes or soften the gaze. Allow awareness to spread across your body like water from the top of the head to the soles of the feet. Fill your body with this awareness. Deep inhale, breathe it all in, feel expansion. And exhale, completely release tension and all effort. Rest here and sink into your mat. Allow the mind to rest with all thoughts becoming blurry. Allow any of these thoughts to pass by like clouds as you rest in this position. For the final moments of our class, simply allow your body and mind to rest here in this moment, to just be. Stay here in Savasana for as long as you would like, an option to pause the video. Otherwise, invite gentle movements into the fingers and toes. Circle through the wrists and ankles. Extend the arms high overhead as you point and flex the toes. Bend through one knee and then the other, and slowly make your way onto one side. Slowly and with heavy eyes, gently lift into a comfortable seated position, taking your time to arrive and knowing that there is no rush. Inhale, arms reach high overhead, palms come to touch. Exhale, lower thumbs to heart center. Loka samasta, sukhino bhavantu. May all beings everywhere find peace and happiness, and might my words, thoughts, and actions create a space of peace and happiness for others. Slowly lift your thumbs up to third eye center and bow towards one another to close off the practice. And as you're ready, gently lift up and blink open the eyes to take in the space around you. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.